You're welcome back to the gavel. The House of Representatives Committee on Aviation is charging the federal government to ensure that local flight operations at the Enugu International Airport commence before Easter. Now, this is coming on the heels of assurances given by the Minister of Aviation and the Federal Airports Authority that the reconstruction work at the airport will be concluded before Easter, the 21st of April. The committee, which met with key players in the aviation sector, also queried the National Airspace Management Agency on why there have been flight diversions to neighboring countries. The Enugu International Airport has been the center of conversations in recent times following the federal government's approval of 10 billion naira for its rehabilitation. The House of Representatives Committee on Aviation is not left out of the conversations. The committee has invited the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA, as well as a contractor and consultant to give an update on the Enugu International Airport rehabilitation.
The situation is
But first, lawmakers query the recent flight diversions to other countries, as well as the cancellation and flight delays.
We've had a lot of sad news over the flight cancellations and the flight diversions to other countries, and we believe that as a nation and as a great nation like Nigeria, that we're supposed to have passed that stage of flight diversion and also diverted our flights to smaller nations like Ghana. So we believe that is not acceptable to us. We believe that it is obsolete for us to, at this time, experience this situation. And considering the fact that when doing oversights to FAN and NAMA, we were assured of the new equipment that were brought in and the latest the category, and with all the landing aids available to us, especially the 4 major airports we mentioned. They mentioned the Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Kano, with Enugu coming on stream. But with the 4 airports we mentioned, you assured us that they are coming, that they are going to take care of the weather situation, no matter how difficult. And I believe that is also supposed to be taken care of, since the other parts of the country, they are taking care of the situation. So that's why we are worried, because we received a lot of calls. Even my colleagues received a lot of calls from the associations in the aviation sector, lamenting about the development. So we decided that it's important that we invite the captains, we invite the heads of agencies, so that we find out what the situation is like and what are you people doing about it to come out of this situation.
The issue of diversion to Accra has been really just for one airline based on corporate policies and standards. In the aviation industry, there is what I would consider a mean standard. The country publishes standards on minimal visibilities for approaches and landings. These same figures are adopted and used by an international company called Jeppesen, which most airlines use. However, individual airlines can and are allowed to have standards of their own to which they operate. British Airways has advised us, well, I spoke with them and they said there are minima for RNAV, which was in place at that time, precision-based approach and RNAV approaches. Their minima was higher than the national minima and the Jeppesen minima. So they diverted to Accra. And so the question I asked them is, we have 2 parallel runways in Lagos. There's a full ILS on the left, which we do not use at night, but we fully available during the day. It's long enough for any airplane. And I asked them why they didn't use it. And they were asked to use it. It was available to be used, but they opted not to use it. And the minima at that time, the visibility at that time, would have accommodated them easily. And it was daytime. I think they arrived overhead Lagos at about 5:30. Sunset is not until about 6:37, which gives a buffer of an hour 37 minutes. They could have landed. I understand they were a bit worried about the fact that they normally do not use that runway, which is a domestic runway. It's not really domestic, it's just one of the parallel runways available in Lagos.
It was more like a personal decision on the pilot, maybe based on the company's standard operating procedure. And there's no claim on what he did.
NAMA says it will be issuing a statement to clarify that the diversion of British Airways flights to Ghana was not as a result of poor equipment at the Lagos airport. The heads of the agencies give an update on the reconstruction work at the Enugu International Airport.
The airport is a vitally economic aeronautical infrastructure which must be run to meet high standards as set by ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization. The required level of safety can only be guaranteed or achieved by proper maintenance of all the facilities in the airport. Maintenance includes all measures that need to be taken to keep in place or restore all the operational functions of the facility. Components of the maintenance include this inspection, which is either scheduled or spontaneous, servicing or overhaul, repair, minor or major. And in Enugu, we have major repair, major reconstruction works. The major repair is this type we are doing in Enugu, reconstruction, that becomes necessary when the efficiency or safety of operations can no longer be assured. The current collapse of the Akanu Ibiam Airport runway is regarded as a major work, which is not only limited to the pavement surface, but also requires stabilization of the base courses. This type of maintenance is also known as breakdown maintenance. Now, apart from this major breakdown maintenance we are doing, it's also important for us to re-emphasize that we're also undertaking ancillary works in Enugu, works on the pavement, works on the apron, on the drainage system, on the perimeter road, on the fencing. The GAT lounge in Enugu is also being attended to. Then there is the clinic. The airport has no clinic. We also attend to that during this work. So in a nutshell, we are doing many more projects. People only talk about the runway, but we are doing much more to make sure that at the end of the day, when the work is concluded, Enugu becomes as good as a brand new airport. So these are the other works we are doing, and they are also going concurrently. The runway is the primary one, but we are doing others to ensure that there's much more service and value for not only the stakeholders, but also for our personnel, the staff that undertake our responsibilities on the airfield and in the terminal.
While the committee is to visit the airport for assessment, the chairman gives the federal government an ultimatum.
We discussed about three major issues here. One was actually directed to NAMA on the issue of the experience, what we read about the diversion of British Airways to our neighboring country, which to us at this point in time is unacceptable to us, is unacceptable to Nigerians. But you know, the NAMA MD explained the situation, which you also heard him. So I believe we're on the same page, but you also need to go and address the press and make his own comment towards that. Secondly, about the Enugu airport that was closed down for reconstruction. Work is going on there, but as a committee, we are going there for oversight. We discussed extensively with both the contractor, the consultants, the representative of Southeast governors, the MDs of FAN, and the ministry. So from what they have said, we resolved, one, that the airport, that there will be a commercial flight. The commercial flight will land before Easter. That's our resolution here, and I believe that they will stick to it. We also encouraged the contractor, which he agreed that he will do a night operation, night construction, both day and night, so that he can meet up to the time.
With almost 5 months gone, there are high hopes that the time frame for the completion of the airport will not be exceeded, considering the economic importance of the Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu. Now, this is where we draw the curtains on this week's edition of The Gavel. If you have any views on any of the issues discussed, please email us on thegavel@channelstv.com. Thank you for staying with us and see you again next week.